Hello everyone and welcome to New Gameplay Today. I am Alex Stadnik and I am so damn excited to be here because I have 2/3 of the Super Replay crew with me. We have Dan Tack here. Hello, sir.
Hey, I'm here.
You
cool.
are.
Look at this. We're talking to Wang.
We're talking, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were talking about for a second, then I looked at the screen. Also, the man behind the sticks, Marcus Stewart. Hello.
Hey, everybody. Happy to be here.
Yeah, Marcus, what are we playing today?
We are looking at F.I.S.T, which is an acronym that stands for Forged in Shadow Torch.
Torch?
Hey, what does that mean?
So,
what does that mean?
well, you see, you got your buddy there. Let me tell you about my boy, Rayton the Rabbit, who has got a big old mechanical fist on his back that he uses to beat up bad guys, such as this one right here. And Shadow Torch is, well, the city that you're in is called Torch City, and it's pretty shadowy there. And I guess that's it. I solved the mystery, I think.
To be clear,
Right, well
this is not an offshoot of something from Final Fantasy VII, right? Because the design looks very familiar.
Yeah, it goes for like the same sort of like, was it like diesel punk would probably be the term, not cyberpunk.
Sure.
It's a lot grungier.
There's different environments that look different. The city does look like that, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Marcus is what? Marcus, you're reviewing this right now. I think we can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've finished it. And
Okay.
the review should be live on the site by the time you're watching this. And I think this is a very good game in a
Okay.
way that I was maybe not expecting. It comes from I believe a pretty unknown developer, right, Dan?
Yeah, so I had a chance to preview this game. We had it in the magazine quite a few months back now. But yeah, I got to play through the first few levels, and I was entertained, and I wanted to see how deep it got at the end. Maybe you can share some insight to that. I'll have to read the review. But anyway, yeah, you play as this bunny, and there's lots of other animals in the game too, and you get different weapons. Like you start with the gauntlet, the giant fist, right? And you can do all kinds of cool stuff with that, and you can upgrade it over the course of the game. But there's other really cool weapons too, right?
Yeah, there's two other main weapons that you get. The second one is a drill that you get pretty early on, actually. And then the third one you get much later. It's like an electric sort of whip arm. But what I love about the game is that it's melee focused, kind of Metroid style exploration. I think the combat feels really nice. And it starts out really simple, but the upgrade trees for each weapon definitely adds a lot of like flavor in terms of combos that you can string together, and the three different classes are very distinct from each other, and I had a great time just mixing that up, experimenting against all the different enemies who are pretty demanding and kind of require you to have some level of mastery with everything that you've got in your arsenal. On top of that, you've also got some sub-weapons like a rocket launcher. You've got an Estus Flask-esque healing gourd.
Carrot juice.
Carrot juice mixed with water.
Yeah,
There we
you're
go.
a rabbit. Just carrot juice.
Because you got to cut it, right? You can't have it too strong.
Exactly. Diluted carrot juice, everyone's favorite. And you also have a parry attack, which is probably my only like real gripe with the combat is that for whatever reason, there's two different parries that are identical, where one you have to spend mana on, and that's the quote-unquote good one because it's mapped to a shoulder button, so it feels good to pull off and it's easy to pull off, whereas the one that you can do for free, you kind of have to hit forward on the stick at the right time, but it doesn't feel natural to do it that way, and a lot of times I just would dash into the attack I was trying to parry. But other than that, I don't think like parrying is a big deal in the game, but you can get by just swinging and just attacking and evading. But I was impressed with how good everything just kind of feels. Like nothing in the game is particularly surprising. Like you get a double jump, air dash, wall climb, like pretty by the book platforming abilities, but everything feels so fine-tuned in a way that it makes getting around the giant levels a lot of fun to dig up all those hot secrets and collectibles.
Ooh.
Now, break it down for me. Like, what's the coolest part about this game? Why should I play it? Lots of Metroidvanias out there. Hit me with it.
I'd say the combat, it reminds me a lot of if you like the 2014 Strider game, which is one of my favorite games that doesn't get talked about very much. That game had a similar vibe of like kind of zoomed in Metroidvania style, but a really big focus on combat more than anything.
Okay.
It gave me a lot of that kind of feeling, and I like those I love a good melee focused games. I think this, like I said, the combat gets really great. I think the other weapons are a blast to use. I think the boss battles are challenging in a good way. And I think that the world is just fun to look at. Like you see, like the backgrounds and the environments are packed with detail, and there's a lot more visual variety than like you spend the opening area in this, or the opening hours in this Torch City area. But eventually, you'll go outside and get to kind of outdoorsy, snowy levels. You'll go underground to like ancient temples, and I think that the story is largely okay. I don't think it's anything to write home about, but it's not bad by any stretch. You know, it's interesting enough to push you along, but it definitely gets its hooks into you in the way that the Metroidvania can, of like, it's fun to get around. I want to poke in every corner. I want to get every little piggy bank and smash it for money, or get, you know, weird little secrets. Like, there's no side quests, but there's little meta narratives. Like, there's one thief you keep running into who keeps getting into these weird situations because he's in over his head, but he won't admit it. But every time you find him, he'll give you a skeleton key that can unlock these specific chests. And so, like, that's stuff.
Does he always say he has one last job he's working on, then he's out? Is that his whole narrative? Yeah.
And then he always
thought I was out.
They pulled me
He's
back
like,
in.
And then always make an excuse like, oh, I was doing fine. You just happened to show up at a bad time. But take this key and don't tell anybody that you found me like this. Yeah. So you got an upgrade there for my overall health.
How many of those pieces do you need to find to get a full health upgrade?
3. You can upgrade your health. You can upgrade your basically your mana to do your special attacks, like your charged attacks, and then you can upgrade, if you see in the bottom left, your kind of sub weapon meter. So right now we have the carrot juice, and that's where the parry and the rocket launcher reside, as well as some other abilities.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say overall, like, this is just a really good one of those.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so like, I can't point to any one like innovative feature that this game does, Dan, if you're looking for something brand new. But if you want a very well made, like, exploration focused action platformer, I would recommend this without hesitation.
What do you want with this old man?
Okay.
I came for
Like
And
that.
there's a raccoon.
Also, do you like
that's like a
raccoons?
big plus.
Yeah. And what if it was a martial arts raccoon who could teach you some cool moves like he's doing right now with Rayton?
I'll get him out.
I mean, martial arts raccoons are even better than regular raccoons, so I'm in.
There you go.
Are there any boybs in this game for Dan?
Borbs?
Borbs? Yeah.
What animal is that?
That would be a bird. That's how we, this is, we're using new age dialect, all right?
Yes. Surprisingly, I went into this expecting to see every animal under the sun. There's only maybe like 3. There's rabbits, which is really just you and the main antagonist. There's raccoons. There's a rat gang that kind of controls the like red light district. And then there's cats. Oh, and you also have your best friend's a bear. He's like the only bear in the game for some reason. No one really comments on it. And he also has a weird kind of cringe thing where he keeps commenting on how fat he is.
But he's a bear.
He's supposed to be.
Bears are large. Everybody knows that.
He doesn't seem to I mean, he doesn't like hate himself for it. It's just kind of, they remind you constantly that he is a big boy.
Hey, as a large bear myself, I understand. I get that notion. Okay, so this sounds really good. This was a game that was not on my radar. Would you say, is this a top 10 contender for you, Marcus, for the year?
That's tough. There's a lot of really good games that have come out this year.
That answer means no. That doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, like, I don't know about top 10, but I would think about it. Like, I think it's a game that you should check out.
On the cusp of it. Okay.
Yeah, like, it'd be like a good number 11 and number 12. My top 10's not fully formed yet, but we'll say that's where
it keeps going down. Next 13, 14, 15.
Hey, now, there's nothing wrong with it.
Now, hey, there isn't wrong with it. It's been a good year.
It really has.
I got like my top 10 list is pretty much full already. But so I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see where I should schedule this into my summer into my fall gaming fun.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say if you're like Metroidvania out, then maybe you don't need to play this right away. But if like these games, so no matter how many times I played them, they're like junk food for me. I can just keep playing these back to back. Like, I reviewed Ender Lilies over the year, and I was still like itching to get into this. So I'd say if you're looking for one of those, absolutely give it a shot. But if you're not in a big rush, like, I just not in the mood for a Metroid game, or I want to save myself for maybe Metroid Dread, you can come back to this later.
For sure. I think for me,
Wait, you can get Metroid out? I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't think that was possible. I need to know more about this phenomenon.
yeah, this doesn't sound familiar to me. No, I was just gonna say, there's obviously a lot of Metroidvanias out there these days, but I find the subgenres within them interesting, right? Like I feel like Hollow Knight's a very different game than something like Ori, right? And this seems to be appealing to. It's not the Souls-like Metroidvania, right? That's something that's like we've seen some of the games this year have been, and this seems a little bit more my speed, especially with a focus on combat. So I'm really intrigued in this one. This went from me having no idea what was about to now like I really want to check this out. So
yeah, and especially if you like Mega Man X style platforming, it's got a lot of that.
Okay.
Now that's a game. You said Mega Man X, I go. That's it.
Yeah. Do you like air dashing in multiple directions and wall jumping?
I love air dashing, wave shining, and all of the other associated
wave shining.
talents.
What if I told you could dash wave shining?
Alex, are wave shining now, okay?
All right.
Wave dashing is so 2020. We're wave shining now.
That sounds like a good flex. Like I've been wave shining since 85 or something.
We're on the wave. We're a bunch of wavy dudes. We're getting to. We should be getting into a boss fight here pretty quickly, correct?
Yeah, and the game has a lot of these, and a lot of them are. It's like divided into mini bosses, like the one we're about to face, and then larger scale bosses. Like I said earlier, they're pretty challenging. Like I usually had to. It took a few attempts to topple a few of them, and I think the last boss in particular is pretty tough. Or actually, the last couple of bosses, once you get to the final stretch of the game, will. Challenge you'll say, in a way that I don't think it's frustrating. They're just very hard in a way that you just got to use everything that you've learned up to that point. But I think they're all pretty fun. They're all well designed. Like I said, like they might not blow you away in terms of originality, but they're not boring either.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So are there any like difficulty options or anything if you get stuck, or is it one size fits all? Level up, get your skills,
As far as I can tell, it's one size fits all. Like it doesn't present you with any difficulty options in the beginning. I don't recall seeing any in the menu, which is pretty bare bones, we'll say, the settings. So yeah, I'd say one size fits all.
Okay.
But I think the difficulty scales nicely too. Like you get your upgrades pretty quickly. It gives you a chance to get used to what you've got before they throw something hard at you. So I think that I don't want to paint this as like a super difficult game, and I don't think it's that. But it's got some bite to it.
For sure.
A bite like a Barks root beer. I do enjoy one of those.
Barks?
What?
Barks.
There are dogs in this game, are you?
Wait, have you never am I gosh, I am like humoring myself out here.
Barks. Bar. You said bark like wolf.
Yes.
No, it's Barks, isn't it?
You weren't
All right.
It's not A&W. That's the problem.
We can argue about root beer in a minute, but we got a boss fight here.
We do have a boss fight here.
Root beer. I don't know why I'm so.
Yeah, that was a weird hill for me to like climb onto. And
No, I saw that. We are very excited about root beer here. We just haven't gotten into it yet, and I'm really excited. We're gonna have a new podcast about root beer on Thursdays.
I gotta get us out of here. Tack, Marcus, thank you so much for joining us. Marcus, when is this out? Where can people play it?
This is out on September 7th, and you can pick it up on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
Beautiful. Well, gents, let's go get a root beer float. How does that sound? Viewers,
yeah.
With bite.
Dan's buying.
Dan is buying. Viewers, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. I'm getting us out of here.